Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going better than fantastic. With that being said, today I want to talk about something very important. I recently was asked a question on my last video as to why I care about certain subjects, such as the narcissism in society. How narcissism has been injected into personal one-on-one relationships in a very common way it seems. And I talked about how a great many people are buying into the narcissist's lie. And as a result, they might end up going down a path they might regret. You see, I talk about this because just like I too and regarding those of us that survived growing up with a narcissist parent or parents, and or those of us that dated or married a narcissist, or had narcissist friends, bosses, you name it. But within that there are layers. Remember, with narcissism things aren't straightforward. They work layers upon layers upon layers. So it's hard for most people to see what is really going on. And within these layers, people that aren't narcissists might get swept along with the narcissist because the rest of the crowd is going that way. And the narcissist paints the picture of what they are selling, so to speak, as so good and great. So much decent people might get caught up and end up going down that regretful road I just talked about. You see, I mentioned in my last video some of these high-value videos that I've watched and level up videos that I've watched that seem to be a growing trend. And the ones where they call out the person for being materialistic, shallow, and wasteful in their thinking. Meaning, God might have sent them a good person, but because they were making the wrong dollar figure, they threw them away, so to speak. There are a great many that live in their denial, much like the Bible talks about, letting those that have reprobate minds to stay in their reprobate minds. But then there are some, a small amount, much like the Bible talks about, that you can hear the crackle in their voice, and the facial expressions they make that lets you know the wheels are turning and they are starting to see and realize they've been lied to all along by this narcissist over here and that narcissist over there, planting the seeds for them to walk down a road where they won't have a productive and happy family life. You see, there are so many life snares out there. And these life snares, we are told, are normal and part of normal relationships. Such as running off to nightclubs like a single person the night before you get married to supposedly the one that you love and the person that God put in your life. Yet no one can understand why most marriages fail and cheating is off the charts. If friends or family of your spouse wants to take your spouse to Vegas for a wild time, but if you stand up and say you're not happy with that, you aren't going along with the norm that mostly everyone deems as okay. Yet, no one can understand why cheating is off the charts, and divorces are off the charts, and why less and less people are getting married. But there are a small few that are getting it. You can see the wheels turning and they understand. Wait a minute. I'm putting all of my life chips in finding someone that has $1 million. And where I can also act like someone with no common sense, entitled and narcissistic. And somehow, some way it's supposed to all just work out just like it does in the movies or the novels. But as we've seen in real life, it doesn't work out that way. There often is a trail of emotionally broken and lonely people. And the narcissists, they keep pushing on us their ways and lifestyle as if it's as sweet as honey, when it's really a trap. And besides dealing with the conventional, all of us healing from dealing with a narcissist, I also talk about the traps narcissists lay for the average person in their life. Remember how I mentioned that narcissism touches most people's lives? Even people that don't even know they are being affected by narcissism are being affected by narcissism this very minute. And if just one person watches one of these videos and says, "You know what? What the heck am I doing?" Maybe they are with someone kind, decent and strong, and even someone they are attracted to. But they have all of these voices around them saying, "You make more financially than they do. Just dump them and live it up. You can do bad all by yourself." And so forth and so on. Because under normal circumstances those voices can be loud. And the peer pressure can be overwhelming. So much so this person might make some serious sad and permanent life choices. But one person might see a video like this and they might take a step back and say, "Wait a minute." And they might think twice before they follow the crowd. Before they will follow the group of narcissists cheering them on. Because that's what narcissists love to do. They love to trick you into giving up your gifts and good things that are happening in your life. And one of those gifts is often a good spouse. You see, in the Bible God talks about being fruitful and having families. And I believe there are many wonderful reasons why He told us as people to do such things. But one of the reason is I think. And I stress I think. Because I don't pretend to know. But I think it's for our protection. Because when we have a loving family, we can have security in our lives until the end of our lives. We can be there to help someone while someone is there to help us. From the beginning of our lives until the end of our lives. But Satan and the narcissists, they like to see us in pain, in misery. They like to see us scared, unsure, and worried. Now you have a large amount of people concerned. What will happen to them when they get older? Who will be there for them? Will they end up in a home getting poor treatment? Or will they be blessed enough to have a family to love them until their last days? But it's that trick. Remember Satan's promise in the Garden of Eden. He told them they would be like God if they bit of the apple. When they already had immortality given by God and there was no need to bite of the apple. It was a trick. And most of what we are seeing is the same trick. You see, God gives us gifts wrapped in packages we might not expect. David was just a shepherd boy before he became a mighty warrior and king. And Jesus didn't show up like the mighty warrior David was after he defeated Goliath. You see, people always expect. Jesus came to save people from their sins. But the people thought he was going to show up like a mighty warrior. So many were confused as it didn't line up with what they had in their mind Jesus would show up like. Well, maybe God doesn't want you to have a millionaire. Maybe He does. But if He put someone in your life that loves you, that is honestly good to you. Not perfect. No. Because no one is that except Jesus Himself. But someone that is loving, kind and strong. You see, we live in a tough world and not all of these strong loving people are going to have $1 million or a six-figure income. Think about how many people essentially turned their back on Jesus because He wasn't the warrior image they thought He was supposed to be. And think about how many people get a gift from God. A gift being a spouse. A spouse that isn't a narcissist. Someone that has morals and that is trying hard in life. But you want to kick them to the side just because they have less. When in reality most people have less. That's just the reality we are living in. And the words I'm speaking is in hopes it might make a few people pause, that's all. And rethink the choices they are thinking about making in their lives. There's some people with all of this money they made for themselves but won't accept someone because they make just a little less than they do. They can't respect someone in their words. If the person they are with makes less than they do. Isn't that a shame? But then there are a few people that are getting it. You see the wheels turning like they realize they have been had. That they have been lied to. And maybe, just maybe, if more and more of these people that do the self-work that we talk about here. And they can say, hey, you know, I was with this person. They were kind and good to me. Hard working. But just not in the lifestyle bracket that I would like. And everyone around me was talking this level up stuff and kick them to the curb mess. And live it up and find someone better. And I chose to not listen to that mess. And I chose to stay with someone that loved the Most High with all of their heart and with all of their soul and with all of their mind. This person isn't lazy. They just aren't in the bracket where society calls them average. Okay. They are average. No problem. And it's no one's business. And voices of the narcissists get quieter and quieter as they fade away. I mean it. If one person can do the self-work and see narcissism for what it is, to me, it's truly worth it. Well, that's all I have for today. I thank you for your support. And I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.